ঢাকা মাওয়া এক্সপ্রেসওয়েতে আবারও
রাজধানীর উত্তর বাড্ডায় অফিসে যাওয়ার সময়
রাজধানীর বাড্ডায় বাস চাপায় নিহতের ঘটনায় অভিযুক্ত এক চালককে গ্রেপ্তার করেছে পুলিশ। গতকাল পাল্লা দিয়ে চলা 2 বাসের চাপায় নিহত হন এক নারী। এ ঘটনায় বাকরুদ্ধ স্বজনরা। তার প্রতি বিশেষ সম্মান জানিয়েছেন সহকর্মী।
কখনোর ওই বাসের চাপায় পড়ে তাসনিম জাহান আইরিন নামের এক নারী নিহত হয়েছেন, আর এই ঘটনায় তার বড় বোন নুসরাত জাহান জেরিন আহত হয়েছে। সকাল 9:30টার দিকে ঘটনা ঘটে। এতে ঘটনাস্থলেই তাসনিম জাহান আইরিন নিহত হন এবং আহত নুসরাত জাহান জেরিনকে
মাওয়া এক্সপ্রেসওয়েতে আলাদা স্থানে সড়ক দুর্ঘটনায় প্রাণ গেছে 4 জনের, আহত হয়েছেন অন্তত 5 জন। দিবাগত রাত 12টায় নিমতলা ও ভোর 4টার দিকে হাসারা এলাকায় এই দুর্ঘটনা ঘটে। হাইওয়ে পুলিশ জানায় এসব ঘটনা ঘটেছে। হাইওয়ে পুলিশ জানিয়েছে নিমতলী এলাকায় একটি কাভার্ড ভ্যানের পেছনে ধাক্কা দেয় আবদুল্লাহ পরিবহনের একটি মিনি বাস। এতে দুমড়ে মুচড়ে যায় যাত্রীবাহী গাড়িটি। নিহত হন বাসের হেলপার মোহাম্মদ জীবন ও যাত্রী মোহাম্মদ রায়হান। আহত 5 জনকে হাসপাতালে নেওয়া হয়।
ঢাকা মাওয়া এক্সপ্রেসওয়েতে আবারও দুর্ঘটনা। শুক্রবার ভোর 4:45টায় মুন্সিগঞ্জের হাসারায় ঢাকামুখী লেনে সামনে থাকা একটি অজ্ঞাত যানের সঙ্গে যাত্রীবাহী বাসের সংঘর্ষ হয়। এতে সামনের অংশ দুমড়ে মুচড়ে বাসের হেলপার রাকিব ও সুপারভাইজার সবুজ নিহত এবং আহত হন অপর 5 জন।
Today we will explore utilitarianism, a philosophical approach that emphasizes the importance of maximizing happiness and well-being for the greater number of people. Rooted in the teachings of philosophers like Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, utilitarianism asserts that the moral worth of an action is determined by its outcomes, more specifically in its ability to generate happiness and reduce suffering for society as a whole. In this documentary, we will focus on John Stuart Mill, whose theory of Rule Utilitarianism. We will focus on John Stuart Mill, whose theory of Rule Utilitarianism expands upon classical utilitarian principles by advocating for rules that, when generally followed, lead to greatest good. We will structure our narrative around a critical analysis of Mill's ideas, culminating in a poignant case study that illustrates the complexities of applying utilitarian ethics in real-world scenarios. Our fellow experts, analysts, reporters, and theorists will delve more into his theories and in the context of the recent cases where several were killed due to traffic law violations and reckless driving.
John Stuart Mill is one of the British philosopher who was influenced by his father James Stuart Mill and also Jeremy Bentham. Jeremy Bentham was his teacher. He described about the active utilitarianism and rule utilitarianism. So in active utilitarianism, we see that a person is morally right if and only it produce the best possible result in that particular situations. In that particular situations, what happened is activism emphasized on the more pleasures and more and what I say and more minimize the pain. It minimize the pain basically. It is emphasized on the bigger pleasures or bigger pleasures of a person. So now let's talk about rule utilitarianism. In the activism, we see that it's more about more people happiness, more people's pleasures. But in rule utilitarianism, we see that it's more about what is right or wrong, what is right and what is wrong. So if you see that rule utilitarianism is an ethical theory that evaluates the morality of action based on their conformity to rules that when generally followed. So we already know about the rule utilitarianism and act utilitarianism by John Stuart Mill. So now we going to apply it to the case of Irina. In the arena case, what we see in the perspective of driver, driver is first thinking about the actiturisms. He is thinking about the passengers in his car, in his buses. There will be more 20 or 22 people, but he is thinking about 22 people's pleasures or their happiness, because instead of the arena who is on. So in activism, so we see that in activism focuses on more people happiness or pleasures, and on the other hand, if we think about the rule utilitarianisms, we stress about what is wrong and what is right, and in that case, if we consider in the rule utilitarianisms in arena, if you think about the driver perspective, affecting on people like arena passing over the buses over arena is not legal, because you are harming one woman, so or human being. So it's not it's not like what is wrong, or it's more like what is wrong and right. So here we can see this by protecting 22 people or more people in their bus, he's affecting one people. It's not legal, and it's not proper. I want to say that. So thank you.
To illustrate the gravity of the situation, reporter MRIDULA will present other cases reflecting the volatile situation of road safety in Bangladesh. She will be elaborating on the statistics and the 2018 protests for road safety. These issues raise the question of the disappearance of ethics among drivers.
Hello, good morning. Today we will share about a very sad and shocking story, another road accident. This shows how our system is failing to keep people safe. Irene, a 24-year-old woman who worked at Next Ventures, died after a bus accident on Pragati Sarani in Bata. This is not just an accident. Bus drivers are often tired, not well trained, and forced to drive fast. This makes the road unsafe for everyone. Our roads are not safe. Why don't we have better roads, good public transport, and strict traffic rules? These are basic needs for everyone. In 2018, students protested for safer roads and after similar accidents, but nothing has really changed. The same accident keep happening. Who suffers the most? Ordinary people like Irene. Her death is not just one accident. It shows that whole system is broken. We don't just need to catch the driver. We need to fix the system. If we don't act now, more people like Irene will die. How long we let this happen?
On the morning of October 9, 2024, Tasneem Jahan Irene, age 24, and Nusrat Jahan Jerin, age 28, set out for the usual work day in Dhaka. But little did they know their lives would be shattered in a tragic moment, altering their family forever. Both sisters worked at the same office and shared a close bond. That fateful morning, as they crossed Pragati Sarani Road in the capital Bata, they were struck by the reckless behavior of two buses racing down the same road.
In the heart of Dhaka, life often moves at a breakneck pace, but for two sisters, Tasneem and Nusrat, the simple morning commute turned into a nightmare. On the morning of October 9, 2019, two sisters, Tasneem Jahan Irene, just 24, and Nusrat Jahan Jain, 28, set out for their usual workday in Dhaka. But little did they know their lives would be shattered in a tragic moment, altering their family forever. Both sisters worked at the same office and shared a very close bond. That fateful morning, as they crossed Pragati Sarani Road in the capital Sparta, they were struck by the reckless behavior of two buses racing down the same road. The Akash Parivahan buses were in a race to pick up passengers, driven by nothing but greed and speed. One bus attempted to overtake the other, but in doing so, it lost control, running over the two sisters in the process. Tragically, Erin was killed instantly. Her sister Jane was critically injured and rushed to the hospital. The news shattered their father, Saiful Alam, who could never have anticipated such a devastating loss. At the morgue, her father shared his heartbreak. "I never thought this day would turn into a nightmare. My daughters went to work, but one came back in a coffin and the other fighting for her life. The buses involved were seized and one driver who had fed the scene was later arrested. This was not the first time a bus from Akash-Paribahan had been linked to a reckless driving. In 2019, a similar accident had occurred, claiming another innocent life. This tragedy is a painful reminder of the dangers of reckless driving and the lack of serious consequences for such behavior. Iran's family and friends are left to mourn the loss of a vibrant young woman. The Jane fighting for life will never be the same again. The road to change begins with accountability, and the stories of victims like Iran should never fade into forgotten tragedies.
Hello everyone, myself FATAMA TOZZOHORA PIYASHA, and our case study is about traffic violation of road accidents. Every year, thousands of lives are lost in road accidents, often caused by traffic violations. Moreover, road accidents are a big problem in our Bangladesh. They cause injuries, deaths and pain for families. Let's think about this problem using utilitarianism, which helps to decide what actions bring the most happiness. Basically, utilitarianism refers the greatest happiness or benefits for the greatest number of people. Today we will analyze this issue using two perspectives, act utilitarianism and rule utilitarianism. Act utilitarianism. This approach focuses on whether a specific action like using a strict court order for a reckless driver creates the greatest happiness for everyone involved. In this case, the court decision could maximize overall happiness by protecting lives and reducing suffering from accidents. Now let's shift to rules utilitarianism. This perspective focuses on the long-term benefits of following rules that generally lead to the greatest good. Now, being a utilitarian theorist, if you analyze our case study, you can see that the girl named Irene was killed in a road accident. Her elder sister Zareen was also injured in the accident. These two sisters are crossing the road, and at that time, two buses of Akash-Paribahan was racing on the road that led to Irene death. Innocent Irene death just because of that two careless drivers. Basically, punishing them fall under utilitarianism, because utilitarianism shows us that how to make better decisions which give most benefits to the most number of people. The individual actions or general rules, utilitarianism remains us to focus on outcomes that maximize well-being. Strict enforcement of traffic laws may feel harsh to some, but it's a step towards safer and happier community. And in conclusion, our case is about satisfying and justifying the utilitarianism theorist. Thank you.